how to be your authentic self. Holy moly. Because I've been at this for what feels like forever. I know I started to develop the mentality that I have and the one that I've just evolved since I was like in college. I was probably like 20 years old. I'm freaking 29 now. And now I am at a point where it is, what I'm doing is actually authentic to me. And there's just a knowing that it is going to work. And so how the frick do you do this for yourself so that you can have like just this clarity and conviction that I have found? I mean, building a fitness coaching business, like what I'm doing right now compared to the things that I was trying throughout my entire 20s, music, marketing, there is just such a difference about what I'm doing. And there's just a knowing that it is going to work and we are going to freaking get there at some point. And it just comes from the fact that this is so authentic to me and it is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And how the frick do you figure that out? The first part, I'm just going to get everybody off the video immediately, is that you have to go on the journey, is what I've decided. The people that have gotten success quickly have found their thing very quickly. And in a way, they got lucky. In a way, they didn't. You can look at like the different examples you see. You see a lot of people, like you see the stuff about how people get rich and make money very quickly, but they still feel very unfulfilled. My guess on this is that it's just that they found something and were able to be successful in it, which is a show of their character, which is something that I wasn't able to do with the things that I was trying to do, because I'm so connected with fulfillment and actually the lifestyle that I'm living and not necessarily the results that I am after. For instance, building my physique is like, the actual physique and how I look is sort of like a metric to track, right? It's not what I am after. Sure, it's a goal. Absolutely, everybody wants to freaking look good. What I am truly after, though, is a lifestyle that I enjoy that gets me to the goals that I'm after. And so the way that I changed my training into how I'm lifting, how I'm doing cardio, how I'm eating, that is what I'm after. The way that I found that's what I am looking for, right? And continuing to improve in that and be disciplined in that and take on the challenges in that, that's what I'm looking for. In terms of what I'm doing to actually make money, I don't want to be at my freaking job anymore, obviously, but it's looking for the thing that I actually do day to day that is authentic to me, the lifestyle part that actually gets me to making the living that I want to make, right? That is the thing that drives me. And my guess for people that you hear about that end up making a lot of money but still just feel unfulfilled, one, it's Jesus. But the other one is that comes from Jesus, is the thing that they did to make money isn't exactly the thing that is fulfilling for them. And when they find that, then they'll have that hole filled. And, you know, it could be anything. There's many things you have to figure out in this life between your health, your wealth, your relationship, happiness, whatever, and whatever the little details that go into all of that. You need to figure all of those things out. And I think, so the first point of going on the journey, however long it takes is however long it takes. Like I said, I've been at this for 10 freaking years, trying to find the freaking thing, and like sticking with things way too long because I didn't know that this was the point that I was supposed to get to, right? I think something that you should watch out for that shouldn't stop you is that I remember my mentality when I was starting out, when I was just like 20 years old or whatever. I was like, I just want to live a good life. That's all I thought. I just wanted to wake up. I wanted to be free. I wanted to care about what I was doing. And so this made me focus on the results, right? This made me, I was doing music, couldn't stay consistent with it, even though I was like trying to be disciplined, trying to be consistent, and I would just be on it for months and then I would just fall off, and I'd be on it for months and I would just fall off. I couldn't figure it out. I thought the only thing that mattered was that I wanted to do something different and do something that made me free from like the normal way of living. And so I was trying to do music because that's all that I was after. That's all that I knew. I didn't know that I could be at this point where I'm at now, where I'm doing something that's so authentic to me that I know it's going to work and I know it's the right thing to do. And I just freaking been going at it and at it and at it for months and months and months. And I only want more and only get more and more hungry from it because it is that thing. I didn't know this was on the other side. And so you have to stick at it. You have to continue going on with the journey. I forgot what I said originally there. I go on tangents, but everything that I say ends up being important. It's just that I'm pretty freaking long-winded, right? And so you have to go on the journey. You have to stick with it as long as you can. And the two main things that I'll just put this out in however many minutes we're into this, I'll just put this out. The two main things is that one, yes, you have to go on the journey, but you have to be actively looking for the thing. You have to actually actively be trying things. And two, you have to make a connection with God. I think people do one or the other, or get it mixed up, or do neither. And that's the thing. You see people trying to build their connection with God, their relationship with Jesus, and it kind of ends up remaining superficial, and they can never actually end up hearing him, right? But then you also hear that people are only searching for the thing that they're meant to do, and they can never actually find it, or they never have like the clarity on like, is this the thing or is it not? And it's because you actually need both. Once I did both, that's when everything started to click. And I think if you do those two things, it can, I guess, happen for you faster, but it's just going to happen the right freaking way, how you need it. God is going to put you through the experiences that you need to make your thing what it needs to be, right? Who am I to say if I had found fitness coaching, it was right in front of my face the whole freaking time. I'm sitting in my dad's private gym. He's a personal trainer. I'm going to do it a completely different way, but it was right in front of my face the entire freaking time. But who's to say, had I found that when I was 23 years old, if it would have become what it is? I don't know exactly how God works. I can't tell you that. I don't know if I had started building a connection with him earlier, he would have revealed this to me. Probably, maybe, but I don't know. I think it's all up to him, and I think he wanted it to happen as it did. And so you're going to have to go through the right experiences. And so it might happen for you quickly. It might not. That's just the way that it goes. And so another piece of advice that you'll hear a lot is that you have to be willing to be at this for 10 years or whatever. You have to be willing to be at this forever. And the reason that people say that, I don't think that it takes that long. Now that I'm where I'm at now, I just know there's just a knowing and a conviction that I'm just on the freaking cusp. Just because of the conversations with God day to day. And so the reason that people say that you have to be willing to be at this for years is because it's going to take time to find that thing. I spent 5 years doing music. First, it started as a hobby in the dorm room, and then it was like, all right, I'm going to try to sell these things. And then it would be like, all right, no progress. I'm going to just fall off for 3 months. And then it was like, all right, I'm going to switch the style of music that I'm making because I'm getting bored of that. And then I'm going to switch again. It's like, oh, I made some money doing this, but I didn't really like that style of music. So I'm going to go back to the other one instead of just staying consistent with one thing. Obviously, that wasn't my thing, and it wasn't connected with who I am. Sure, music's cool. I enjoyed learning guitar through doing that. But at the end of the day, it wasn't the thing. And like the characteristics that you need to make it work, it has to be that authentic thing for you. There's this horrible book called, I think it's called So Good They Can't Ignore You. Something like, I don't know if that's it. Where it talks about basically the passion versus work debate. And it basically says, fuck passion, just work. I think it's the worst advice probably ever, because if you just work and make money, you're going to be unfulfilled because you're not doing the thing that God has given to you. He's made us all unique. He's given us all something. And the most important thing is finding that thing. And he's going to give you like a path and a lifestyle that you are going to live through that is also authentic to you. Like, don't worry, he's freaking got you. You don't have to question whether or not God has you. Like he's got you, he's got it figured out, he's got it planned out, and everything is going to be authentic to you. And so like I was saying, it's this journey of constantly searching and building that connection with him. And if you are committed to doing those two things, and the advice that people say of wanting to do this for, you have to want to do it for 10 years, it's because it's going to take time to find that thing. If you find your thing and are doing it consistently, day after day after day after day, you don't think, and you're like, you know it's your thing, so you're like trying to get better at it and continuing to improve every single day. Every single time I put out Instagram videos, I'm analyzing what I did and what went right and what went wrong, and I'm looking at other people. I'm finding people who are recently blowing up and what did they change about their content, and I'm like constantly trying to improve on this thing. And you think if you do that for a year to 2 years and it's the authentic thing that God wants you to do, you don't think you're going to start to see success from that? You think it's going to take you 10 years? No. Like, it might take 10 years to actually get to like the peak, the pinnacle of whatever the plan that God has for you, maybe. But the reason people say that is because it's going to take time to find that thing. I wasted time. I don't know what I don't know what God's plan was for me in terms of like the timeline of everything. But like, I wasted 5 years. I'll say wasted. I wasted 5 years on music, and like in my head, knowing in the back of my head, it wasn't the thing for me. But I can't stress this enough. I didn't know that there was the point that I am at now. I didn't know that there was the feeling that I am having towards fitness coaching. I didn't know that there was that conviction, that there was that clarity for it. I didn't know that was there. So I thought just the uncertainty in my mind was just part of it, and you just had to deal with it, and I just needed more consistency, and I just needed to be more disciplined. And so that's why I want to make this, to let you know that if you are having that, not the like uncertainty of is this going to work, and you're just kind of being a jackass about it, like the knowing that it's not what you're meant to freaking do, because spoiler alert, the thing that you're meant to do is going to be right in front of your freaking face. If you haven't read The Alchemist, you have to read that, because it is going to explain to you exactly how it is going to happen. It is because you have to go on the freaking journey. Let me see what else I got here. So here's a very important piece to this. The entire time where I was trying music, where I was trying marketing, where I was like, my whole 20s, like this whole like self-improvement journey or whatever, like I was doing the same things I'm doing now. There's just a different feeling to them now that I do them, because the things that I'm doing are tailored exactly to what it is that I have to do, and the lifestyle that I want to live, and the lifestyle that I have to live in the future, and the person that I need to be in the future. Let me explain what that means. So like, I was always reading books. I was always journaling. I was always doing a morning routine. Back then, I don't know why I was doing this shit. I was just watching videos and productivity advice, and I was like, that seems like a good freaking idea. I cut out drinking a long time ago. Like, I was always working out. Like, I wasn't working out in the right way, in the way that I train now, that is perfectly aligned with the way that I want to do it, and has all the discipline and challenges that I want to take on, and is getting me exactly to the goals that I have. Like, I was just working out. Like, my morning routine now is dialed into exactly what I need. I do some mobility work for my knees. I read a passage in my Bible. I pray. I journal for a page. And then I spend a few minutes visualizing what life is going to look like when I get there. That is designed around exactly what I need to do to get to the life that I want to live. Before, I was just doing a morning routine because it was like, obviously it was the right thing to do, versus not doing one. Versus just going on my phone and freaking scrolling like a doofus, right? And so before, I was doing all of these like different habits. Like, again, I said reading, like eating better, eating natural whole foods. Before, it was just like chicken, rice, and broccoli because I was lazy and that's what I wanted to make, even though it sucked. Now it's like my fiance is an amazing cook, and we still do the natural whole foods, but it's how it's supposed to be. It's like within that structure, she's gotten very creative. She's an amazing cook, right? And so like everything now, with the authenticity that I have, with the connection with God, with the life that I know I need to live, there's a difference about how I'm doing the things now. And the good thing about doing it before is that I built the habits. So now I have the freaking habits already. That's not even like part, like I don't have to worry about like, oh, I have to build this morning routine instead of scroll on my phone, and I have to cut out the habit of scrolling on my phone in the morning, build the morning. No, I've been doing it for years, and now I can just build the perfect morning routine that's exactly conducive to the goals that I have. I built the habit of going to the gym for years and years and years and years and bullshitting around, building the discipline, building the consistency that I always needed, which is why I talk so much about authenticity and alignment now, because the discipline and the consistency it feels like it comes naturally to me because I've built it over the course of the last 10 freaking years. I can force myself to do something that I don't want to do, and I know what is required of me to get to the goals that I want to have and the areas that I can actually let up a little bit, because I've been doing these things forever. And so when it came to like switching the way I was training and the way I was living to get into the shape that I am now, it wasn't about like, oh, I have to build this habit of going to the gym. No, I've been going to the gym for 10 freaking years. I just couldn't stick to it long enough because it wasn't in a way that was authentic in the way that I had to train. And so the entire point is that you're going to get to a point with all of these different areas of life. This isn't just one thing. This is a constant connection with God and a constant looking for the authentic life that you need to live. As long as you're doing those two things, it's going to come and it's going to be fun. And at the same time, you're going to be building the freaking habits and building the character traits and becoming the person that you need to be. So that now when you're there, you already are that person. You already have the habits. You're ready to freaking go. And you're not going to be one of these people that falls off. You're not going to be one of these people that feels unfulfilled because you've found what you want to do and you've already built yourself there. That's why I think that I am at this point of authenticity where I am at now. I wasn't connected with God at the time, but I was at least putting in the effort. I was hitting the gym. I was reading the books. I was doing the morning routine. I was waking up early. I was cutting out smoking. I was cutting out drinking. I was cutting out shitty friends. Getting rid of all this stuff, focusing on improving myself as a person through the things I was learning, through the content I was consuming, through the books I was reading, through the podcast, through everything. I was doing that. And so that built me into the person that I had to be, even though I wasn't doing the things that were authentic to the life that he wanted me to live. And so once I started connecting with him, it's like, all right. I was like, hey, God, I'm here. And he's like, oh, shit. You already got some of these traits. How about you just apply those character traits that you've built to the life that I actually freaking wanted for you to live? And so now it just comes so easy. It just comes so natural. The discipline is like a challenge that I have to take on. The 2 reels a day, I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. This is a new thing. 3 a week. We're doing three YouTube videos a week. The 3 to 4 training sessions a week. The 80 to 90% on the diet, 20% for fun, for whatever. All of it, all that consistency and discipline was already built. And now it's just being applied to the actual authentic life that I need to live, that God had in store, all because I freaking stuck to it. There are so many things on your journey that are going to knock you off. And I'm feeling a bit of like imposter syndrome almost, but there's like, the belief is that I just know, like it's hard to like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But here, I'll just talk it out. I've gotten into the best shape of my life. I'm getting married in a couple months. My fiance, she's absolutely freaking amazing. We have a very good relationship. I'm still working a job. I've not figured out the money thing yet. That's just how it is. But there's just like a knowing of everything is going to work because of this authentic place that I'm in. And then we're going to look back on this in like a couple months to like a year, and it's going to be fucking insane. So that was like, I had a little like imposter syndrome thing coming up there because I don't want to speak too much on things that I don't have full experience in. But I do have experience in the last 10 years of my life where I stuck to everything. So now I'm applying those things to the authentic life that I need to live. And there's no hack. It's literally just sticking to the journey. So there's so many things that are going to knock you off. One of those things could be imposter syndrome that just came into my head. There's so many things that could knock you off of your journey. When I was doing music and like knowing in the back of my head that it wasn't the right thing for me, but I didn't know that there was this point where I'm at now where there is a thing for me to do that is God-given, that He wants me to do, I could have just stopped at that point. After training for, I don't know, 15 years and then getting my double knee surgeries and getting super fucking fat, and then for 3 months not making any progress, that could have been a point to give up, to just, but no, it made me double down. It made me go harder and find the way that I actually wanted to train that would get me into the shape I wanted to get to naturally by the lifestyle that I wanted to live. I actually started thinking about this shit. I actually started being intentional about it. Before I was just on the journey, I just stuck to it. It's just the person that I am. But then I started actually being intentional about that life that I wanted to live and focusing on that. And so that's it. There's no hack. It is like, know the mentality that you have, because I know exactly the way you fucking think. I know it starts out the same way for everybody. This is me 10 years later. It's you if you're just starting out. It's you if you're a couple years down the line and you never really took it seriously. I know it starts out the same fucking way as everybody. And it is, you want to wake up and live a life that you actually like. You want to wake up and build things. You want to wake up and be excited to build something. You want to go to bed, you want your head to hit the pillow knowing that you actually tried. You didn't sit there and fucking scroll on your phone all day and jerk off and do whatever. You want to actually make something out of this life. I know it starts the same fucking way for everybody. And there are moments I know that you have been through where there's been a burning hole in your fucking heart because you aren't living authentically to that and you've started to give it up. Maybe somebody that's a little bit older and has gone through those moments knows that. Every single time I've started a new job, that is the feeling that I've gotten. And that's something that has kept me at it this entire time. That's the way it starts. And because you have that mentality, you have to stay on the journey, because those moments of that, there's going to be a burning in your fucking soul that you aren't living it out and you aren't trying and you aren't being intentional about it. Those moments are going to keep coming more often and they're going to hit harder. I found a point where I was a little bit satisfied with what I was doing. I moved back to my hometown, moved in with my now fiance, and I was providing for everything while she was in school. And that gave me a little bit of purpose. As soon as she graduated, that shit hit me like a fucking truck, because for those years I wasn't trying. I was satisfied with the purpose that I was given doing that, and I wasn't trying. I had just decided to quit on music. I didn't really know what to do next. And so I jumped into the next thing. I jumped into marketing. It didn't work. And then I remembered what that felt like when she graduated and finished school and that was done. That purpose was gone. I remembered what that felt like. And so I continued at it and continued at it. And this is around the time I started building my connection with God. And He revealed it to me pretty much immediately. And I know that when that happened, I know God was thinking like, oh, this guy's actually, he's been trying. He's been building up these characteristics that I need him to have, kind of doing it on his own. But now together, we're going to build this the right way towards the right things. And so there is no freaking hack. There is absolutely no hack. It is staying on the journey. It is continuing to try things and building those right habits that you know you need to build. It's actually like very freaking simple. Wake up early. Get a morning routine going. Get off your fucking phone. Like there are things that you can do that just do not go wrong. Like, so do these things in the meantime. And then throughout your day, try something. Try a new thing. The thing in the end is going to be something that's staring you right in the fucking face that you probably should have been doing the entire time. That's how it goes. Again, read The Alchemist. Get in the gym. Get in great shape. Learn to stick to your fucking diet, even when you don't want to. Learn to Hack things when it's hard to be disciplined. Environment is everything. I really wanted to have something sweet last night. I was going around the apartment looking to see if my fiance had gotten candy and had like hid it somewhere, but it wasn't there. So you learn, if you just make the environment what it needs to be, then you're good to fucking go. Learn these things. Read books. Nighttime routine. Read books about just personal development and mindset development, because that's where it all comes from, is your mindset. And these are the things you can be doing the entire time where you just can't go wrong. In the meantime, while you are trying to find this thing, while you are, number one, above all, building a connection with God and building it authentically. This actually changed for me when I started going back to church, because that was signifying to me that I was actually going all in on it. I actually started reading my Bible again around maybe 6 months to a year prior to that. But I couldn't hear God until I went back to church. And I remember going back to church and being very skeptical, like, it's a little bit culty, this is a little bit weird. And I actually bought in. After a couple months of that, I bought in. And I can pinpoint right when everything started to change. When looking back now, I recovered from my knee surgeries. And then at a few months after that, I realized I hadn't made any progress. And around this time, it was around 3 or 4 months after I'd started going back to church, and I really started to buy back in. And he told me to get more serious about it and to start figuring out how I actually wanted to train. And that's when I can pinpoint when pretty much everything started to change for me, because my dad came to me talking about doing this as well at the same time, right after I'd quit on marketing a few months prior to that. You can't really, a bunch of coincidences at once, right? I don't know. I think that was enough rambling about authenticity. It's out there for you. The thing is there. You have to be on the journey. You have to be going to find it. It is constant personal development. The things you're doing in the meantime, even if you know they aren't the thing, try to make them the best that they can be. I made a decent amount of money from music. Still just doing that, even though I couldn't freaking stay consistent with it. You should be trying to do that. Absolutely. But there are things you can be doing in the meantime. It is coming. Build a connection with God. Stay on the journey. You have to be willing to be at this forever. It's who you are. You can't freaking run from it. There's nothing you can do about that. Those moments of that burning are going to come, and they are going to really fucking hurt. You're like, it's going to be a feeling that you can't ever get away from, but it's because you are who you are, and it's because you have that mentality that I talked about earlier, that you want to wake up and you want to live a good life, and you look at what everybody else is doing and you go, that doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would you do that? And everybody else doesn't even question it. They just do it, right? I was brought up my entire life. Both my parents started their own businesses, but they told me my entire life to just go to school and get a job, because it was very hard for them the way they had to fucking do it. Go to school, get a job, and like, even with that, and everybody doing the normal thing, and you're the same way. You look at everybody else, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Everybody else just does it. They just believe that is what you do, and they don't ever question any of this shit. It's who you are. You cannot run from it, so you have to stay on the journey. You have to do it. There's no other option for you. Stay on the journey, build a connection with God, and He will reveal it to you. If you want fitness coaching, fitness is the foundation for everything, for consistency, for discipline, for learning all of this shit. And getting in the best shape of your life is sick anyway. So that's why I freaking teach it. If you want help with fitness coaching, shoot me a DM on Instagram. We'll talk. I'll put the link for the call if you just want to hop on that below as well. Otherwise, hit me up in some freaking way. If you want fitness coaching, you want to get in the best shape of your life, you want to talk goals and everything, goals, habits, we'll do all of it, right? Appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening. I want to make this, I said this in the last one, I want to make this more like a podcast style. I want this to replace your music. So if you're on a long drive, you're at the gym, whatever, I love to have just people I like to listen to in my ears. I like to put myself in that environment. So I want this to be longer form rant style, just so that I can build my own mindset, build my mentality by listening to others. So I want to do that for other people. That's why this is this style. So hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll be doing a lot more of this. Appreciate you. Peace.